Hello, this is Joachim from Playing Piano with Chords. In this video series I'm going to show you how to read piano sheet music. It's based upon a chapter of the Playing Piano with Chords book, which comes with lots of audio and video content. Check it out at playingpianowithchords.com. Let's get started. The first thing you need to know are the names of the notes. That's easy enough because they just follow the first 7 letters of the alphabet and then repeat themselves. So it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then everything starts over from A again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on. So it's 7 notes, and on step number 8 it repeats. The music is notated on 5 horizontal lines called the staff. For the piano, you have the grand staff, which are 2 staves joined by a brace. The upper staff is usually written in the treble clef and shows you which notes to play in your right hand. The lower staff is usually written in a bass clef and shows you which notes to play with your left hand. Now let's look at the treble clef. Clef is French and means key, and it shows you the pitch of the notes that are written. If you have a close look, you might see that the treble clef is actually a stylized G. It circles around the second note from the bottom. This way you can see that the note on this line is a G in the treble clef. At first we need a point of reference. On the piano, everything starts with middle C. You may have noticed that the black keys on the piano aren't spread evenly. They come in groups of 2 and 3 keys, which repeat if you go up and down the keyboard. Now, anytime you have 2 black keys on the keyboard, just move 1 key to the left, and the white key you find there is a C. It doesn't matter if you move up or down the keyboard. Whenever you have the 2 black keys and you move 1 to the left, you have found a C. Now, middle C is the C that is closest to the middle of the keyboard. In this virtual piano, it is marked by a gray dot. You can also distinguish it by its pitch. This is the pitch of middle C. It is not lower or higher, but this one right in the middle. Middle C is so important because usually the notes going upwards from middle C are notated in the treble clef and played by the right hand, and the notes going downwards from middle C are written in the bass clef and played by the left hand. As you have seen, there is more than 1 C on the keyboard. The distance or interval between 1 C and the next C is called an octave. If you move up or down the keyboard, you will notice that there are 7 white keys until you reach the next C. Octavus means eighth in Latin. So the distance or interval between 1 C and the next C, above or below it, is 1 octave. You should keep that in mind. The same is true for any other note as well. So if you have an F, for example, and you move up 1 octave, you have reached the next F. The difference between 1 key and its octave is just the pitch. The name of the note stays the same, but it's notated differently. With middle C in place, you can now add in the other notes in the treble clef. Remember, they always proceed according to the alphabet. So after C comes D, which we will skip for now, because at first we're only going to look at the notes that are sitting on the lines of the staff. So moving up 1 more step, you get E, sitting on the first line from the bottom. The note on the next line is G. And you know that one already because it's the note that is surrounded by the treble clef. The note sitting on the next line is B, and you can remember that because it's right in the middle of the staff. Next is D, and finally F, sitting on the top line. To remember those notes on the lines, you can use the sentence, "Every good band draws fans." So you got E, G, B, D, F, sitting on the lines in the treble clef. Now let's add the notes that are sitting between the lines. From bottom to top, you have F above the E. Next is A, then C, which is one octave higher than middle C, and the last one is E. To remember the notes between the lines, you don't need a sentence. You just need to know that they create the word face. If you add up all these notes, you can see that by now you know quite a lot already. You have E, G, B, D, F, or every good band draws fans on the lines, and F, A, C, E, or face between the lines. I'm going to show you a tune to remember those. I thought it would be nice for you to learn the notes with a little piece of music as well, so that you can memorize them even better. So here we go. You have the notes on the lines, which are E, G, B, D, and F. And if you leave out the F on top for now, you have an E minor 7 chord, consisting of these 4 notes. And if you move your whole hand up to the right one step, you get F, A, C, and E, which is an F major 7 chord. And with just these 2 chords, you can already create some nice music. Just play the F chord and then the E chord slowly. And if you like, you can use a pedal to make it sound a bit nicer. And then play them nice and smoothly. So you have the notes between the lines and the notes on the lines. Between the lines, on the lines. You can also add the F like this. So you have covered all the notes. Now always visualize if you're playing the notes on the lines or between the lines, maybe even the note names. You can also arpeggiate the chords, which means playing one note after the other instead of playing them all at once. And if you add in the octaves down below as the root notes, E and F, it sounds like this. And while arpeggiating the chords, you can even name the notes if you like. This way you can learn all the notes you have learned so far with a little piece of music. There you go. Adding more notes is easy now. You just have to add them according to the alphabet. You already know the D, which sits between middle C and the E on the first line, sitting right beneath the lowest line. That's a way to remember D as well. Moving down from middle C, you can add the A and the B according to the alphabet. And I put those there because this way you just have to remember that everything starts with A and moves up from that. And even though I told you before that the notes left of middle C are usually played by the left hand and notated in the bass clef, you come across bass notes in the right hand quite often as well. So it's good to know these. If you move further upward from the F on the top, we get G, which sits right on top of the highest line. And if you look at this G and the D we had before, which sits below the lowest line, you can see kind of a symmetry here between those two notes. One sits on top, one hangs beneath. That might be a way to remember those as well. And now you just have to add up the last three notes, which are A, B, C on top. And this C is 2 octaves above middle C. And again, here you can see a symmetry between the A, B, C on top and the A, B, C on the left, on the bottom. They are just kind of in a reverse order. So the A on the bottom has 2 ledger lines, whereas on the top the C has 2 ledger lines, and the C on the bottom, middle C, has 1 ledger line, whereas on the top it's the A that has 1 ledger line. If you look for these kind of symmetries or positions of the notes, like the B right in the middle, it makes it easier to memorize the locations of the notes. That's it. Now you know more than 2 octaves of white keys in the treble clef already. If you like the video, make sure to check out the Playing Piano with Chords book at playingpianowithchords.com. In part 2, we're going to look at the bass clef and learn another little tune to memorize the notes. You can also leave a little thank you in form of a PayPal donation at paypal.me/ppwchords. Thank you for watching.